Hello, my name is Eddie Tofpik. I'm Head of Technical Analysis and Senior Markets Analyst at ADM Investor Services International Limited. Here is your daily technical analysis of Brent crude oil, spot gold, and Bitcoin. However, before we start, I just wanted to let you know that no AI, that is artificial intelligence, was ever used in the composition, production, or recognition of any of the patterns, levels, analysis, or on any related items on these, my charts. This was all authentic intelligence, all my own original work, as I think you deserve to have that. So with that,
ICE Brent crude oil futures. A bearish black crow yesterday, possibly verging on being an indecisive spinning top pattern, but also being day two in a two-day very large bearish meeting lines pattern after the previous session's very large bullish harami. Now, two-day bearish meeting lines patterns are interesting, as traditionally they are seen as the name states, bearish. However, the data indicates that close to half the time they turn out to be bullish continuation patterns. So it will be interesting to see if the markets will follow tradition or not. Anyway, yesterday the market, after opening higher, was once again capped by the dark blue neckline extension, currently at 84.88, of the September to November 2024 head and shoulders top. And I suppose also by the upper time, currently at 84.24, of the newly drawn steep and to me, uncomfortable early January to early February bullish Andrews pitchfork, before coming back down to stop short of the middle time, currently at 80.12, of the same bullish Andrews pitchfork, and finish up exactly the same level as the previous session. Strange that, isn't it? Looking further above, we have the October 2018 high at 86.67. Then the 50% Fibonacci line on November 20 to March 22 move at 87.41. And the July 24 high at 87.95. Whilst below the middle time, we have a fairly clear zone until the 50% Fibonacci line of December 23 to April 25 move at 78.05. Now, so far today, a higher open once again, this time just over the August 23 high at 81.86, and another push higher towards the dark blue neckline above. But so far, failing to reach it, and prices have turned back a little, back a little in relative terms, to a little ahead of the interesting combination of the January 25 high and the 61.8% Fibonacci line of the December 23 to April 25 move, both at 82.68. This dark blue neckline extension is slowly becoming quite an important dynamic resistance. Spot gold, an inverted hammer pattern, a bullish white soldier, and possibly small bullish harami combination yesterday after the previous session's strong reactionary bearish black crow and bearish long black Mariposa. The market was based on what was left of the lower trend line of the bright red February-based ascending triangle pattern, pushing back up through the breached dark blue lower time, currently 51.67, of the dark blue late December 25 to early February 26 bullish Andrews pitchfork, but not by far, and ending up closing right on the dark blue lower time itself. I am still considering finessing this pitchfork to a shallower bullish shift pitchfork for the same move, should needs require it. Now, looking below, we have the key 50% Fibonacci line for the whole late January action at 49.99. Whilst above, well, we still have left somewhat stranded out there above target X at 54.40 and target X1 at 55.80. These are the targets for the bright red ascending triangle. I am on the verge of retiring these two right now. I need a reason now to keep them rather than a reason to retire them. Finally, I noted yesterday that the action since early February is akin to a small bull channel, currently 50.34 to 54.42, which I've highlighted today in bright green, and I'm beginning to wonder if this pattern might be taking over or maybe just complementing the bright red ascending triangle pattern. Now, so far today, a small move higher, but not much in recent terms, as prices ride up along the underside of the breached dark blue lower time. Bitcoin. A bullish engulfing pattern yesterday, if only just, as well as a bullish long white Mariposa after the previous session's hanging man pattern. Prices rode up through various resistances after first dropping to gather ammunition from the key bright red neckline extension. And that's currently at 67,657 of the August 21 to January 22 head and shoulders top pattern. For a push up through and close over the October and November 2021 highs at 67,058 and 68,977 respectively, plus the 50% Fibonacci line of the November 22 and October 25 move at 70,929. Additionally, the Fibonacci congestion at 72,022 to finally start slowing at the bright green upper time, currently at 72.46 of the potential showrunner for the recent moves. The bright green early October 25 to mid-January 26 bearish Andrews pitchfork. Now we actually finally halted in between the congestion area 73,779 to 74,444, and that's made up from the March 24 high and the April 25 low respectively, though we closed just under the bright green upper time. I still favour this bright green bearish Andrews pitchfork. There is no change to this point of view right now, but I am of course prepared to finesse this bearish Andrews pitchfork into a shallower bearish shift pitchfork for the same move should this be required. In the bigger picture we still have, just about hanging on there, a very large October 25 to date bearish halfway hesitation in progress. The primary and secondary targets for this pattern have already been achieved, leaving just the much harder to reach tertiary target X2 down in the 54,000 zone. I'm starting to have some serious doubts as to whether we will reach target X2 anytime soon, and I am starting to consider retiring it. So far today, well, either side of the bright green upper time with a seeming base on the congestion at 72,022 right now. Beyond the small congestion band, which is 73,779 to 74,444 overhead, we have a fairly empty area until the 61.8% absolute Fibonacci line up at 78,028.
Thank you for listening. This short version broadcast gives the essential market patterns and consequences. Please be aware of the risk disclaimer posted both at the front and at the back of this broadcast. Copyright is Eddie Tofpick and ADM Investor Services International Limited. And here comes the final important bit.